subject tools, we're going to talk about rent to own, lease options, we're going to talk about leverage, we're going to talk about attraction. Hey, my friend, in this 5-part series, I want to talk to you. I want to share some information with you on short sales. I'm doing a training, okay? It's a 5-part series, and you want to make sure you watch everything. We're going to talk about real estate wholesaling, of course, and exit strategies, short sales. We're going to talk about subject tools. We're going to talk about rent to own, lease options. We're going to talk about leverage. We're going to talk about attraction, motivated sellers. These are the things we're going to talk about in this series. This is an important training that you need to take advantage of. Make sure you watch all 5 parts of this video. Does that make sense? So we're gonna have some fun. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. All right. So there's this question that came in and about how would you structure this deal? Uh, Motivated seller, divorce, needs to sell in 30 days or less. How home not listed and doesn't want to use a realtor. Um, okay. All right. So this person says motivated seller. Okay. All right. So far, uh, she says divorce. Okay. Divorce. That's that does divorce is an event in someone's life. It doesn't mean motivated seller, by the way. Okay, but that could be a source of a high motivation to sell, right? Need to sell in 30 days or less. All right. Um, that doesn't mean motivation either. Everybody want to sell quick, faster, simpler, easier. That doesn't mean motivation either. Okay. Home not listed and doesn't want to use realtor. That definitely does not sound like someone that's motivated. Because somebody is not listing with the realtor does not mean they're motivated. Usually it means they're not motivated. In fact, people that are motivated have listed with a realtor a lot of times, and maybe it has expired, and now they've run out of time, right? All right. So that takes me back to this: need to sell in 30 days or less. Uh, Motivation means need to sell now and yesterday and before that. 30 days or less definitely does not sound like motivation. Now, does it sound like you can't create a deal out of this yet? No, it doesn't. You may still be able to create a deal out of this. Again, time is an important factor in this, right? In determining if something is motivated or not. Need minimum of $20,000 to be able to walk their own ways. That definitely does not sound like motivation. If they were motivated, they will not be asking for money. They would just want to walk, okay? They just want to get rid of the property as of yesterday, not 30 days or less. Retail deal is 30 days, 60 days, 90 days or less. That's typically what people with retail deals want. Of course, they want to sell as fast as possible, but they may still have up to 30 days, 60 days. So far right now, okay, you have to understand when I'm looking at this type of scenario, I every information that I get, I use to pre-qualify the the lead, to pre-qualify the particular prospect. Okay. All right. So the property. Let's talk about the property. Custom home built in 2017. That means nothing to me, by the way. Okay, unless I see it only means something to me when I'm comparing with other custom home built in 2017. That means it's no more custom, right? So custom for our type of business as wholesalers, as investors, custom is not always a good thing. It just means a lot of time it means you have to come up with the number. Okay, it means you have to come up with the number to value the property, to appreciate the property properly. Okay, so custom does not make me as an investor. It's not always a plus. It could be sometimes, okay, but it's not always a plus for me. So it's not really an important information for me at this point. Square footage 1443. Okay. Uh, Lot size 5,500. Original purchase price. Oh, again, a lot of this information doesn't mean anything to me. Original purchase price is $225,000. Okay. This could mean something to me, but typically not. Okay. But I'll let you know once it means something to me. Okay. Estimated value 265. Okay, so the previous number $225,000. This is what it could mean to me, but it's still speculation. Okay, but it could tell me that this person has purchased this property recently, and now they're delusional. They think the property is worth $40,000 more, and which could be why they think they're doing us a favor by asking for just $20,000. So they're asking for only half of the equity in their opinion, right? But again, that's just me speculating right now, but a lot of times I am right on that. Okay, I'm right on that money. But but let's just keep going. Right now they're asking for 240. Okay, so there you go. 240. They're asking for 240. Remaining balance or loan is 215. So they're asking for 240. So what is that saying to you? 215, they have to pay off a loan on the property, right? And they want 240. So the spread between that is $25,000. So they want to be able to pay for their closing costs and walk away with $20,000. Numbers is adding up, okay? This is kind of like premeditated murder, okay? Usually, motivated sellers are not calculative like that. They're not. They just want to walk. It's all emotional. They just want to walk. This property has become a liability for them from an emotional standpoint, especially, but yes, including financial standpoint in a lot of ways. Okay, and they just want to walk. Okay, but this person is being extremely calculative. I understand that Admire V Hunt posted this, and she's just a wholesaler like everybody else. Not just, but she's a wholesaler like everybody else. I understand that she posted this. But if the seller gave you these details and all calculative like this, you should consider that they're not motivated. Okay, just like that. That doesn't mean you should talk to them, but you have to be very, very good at asking the right question to extract the right motivation out of this prospect. Okay, you have to work at selling. If you're if you enjoy selling, sure. If you enjoy selling people and you know how to ask the right question and close them on dropping that price down to $5,000, sure. Okay. But that's not my style personally. My style is to do a lot more marketing that I would, in a way that I wouldn't need to be selling people like that. I would just focus on talking to people that are already motivated. Okay. All right. So how do you structure this deal? Okay, the first thing I want to do before I dive into the comments down here, because this video, like I said earlier, is going to be a series of five. Okay, and you need to watch every single one of them to really understand where I'm coming from with this, and it will save you a lot of headache and time as you continue to build your real estate wholesaling and investing business. Okay, but before I dive into that, let me use my calculator. There's a calculator that I use. Okay, so I'm gonna basically say training. Okay, I'm gonna call this training. Okay, and let me see if I can expand this out. Let's make this a little bigger. All right. Okay, that's too big. 24 or 25. There you go. So you can see better, right? Okay. So I'm gonna pick a column here. This is my calculator. This is just how I pre-qualify leads very simply. So asking, all right. Asking is 240. 240. Okay. All the numbers are in thousands. If you look here, she says no repairs needed per client. She says bed number, bath numbers, all this stuff doesn't really mean anything to me yet. These things only mean something to me once I see the number makes sense, and I feel, how would I sell? Once I start thinking, how would I sell this? That's when I look at this information. When I'm looking at how can I buy this, I'm just looking at strictly numbers, okay? All right, so the asking is 240. Okay, you'll see the numbers that are important to me right here. Okay, estimated cost of repair. If they say no repair and I haven't seen the property, I always assume at least $10,000. I always assume that. If I get to the property and it's for sure, purely spanking brand new, that they've never lived in before, then I can take that out. But chances are, no. Chances are this number will be more. Okay, so I'll leave it like that for now. This number is the Zestimate. I like to know what the property is worth. So even though they're telling me that this property is what is worth $265,000, I'm not just gonna believe that. I would need personally. I use Zestimate. Okay, these are just preliminary evaluation of what the property is worth. These are if Zestimate, Realtor.com, Trulia.com, and Redfin.com. If they don't have enough data to give me a good number, then this is typically not a property I look for anyway because it's going to be that harder. It's going to be that much harder for me to sell. If these four platforms, if they don't have enough data, it's going to be that much harder for me to sell because again, as a real estate wholesaler, I'm also looking for ways to sell. Okay, and I get where she's coming from. She's probably thinking more subject to income flow, cash flow type of deal. But I always pre-qualify with also retail value of the property. Okay, so I don't have the address of this property. Okay, I don't. So the only number I have is what they say is worth. I'm not gonna believe that, but just for the sake of this example, I'm just gonna put that number in here. She says it's worth 265, right? So I'm gonna tab over. Okay, I'm gonna tab over to here. Um, let's see. All right, so my maximum allowable offer, based on this, would normally be this calculation right here. Okay. Um, let's see here. So I'm gonna take all of this out, everything here out. I'm gonna call this 265, basically. All right. And this number is basically telling me that my best offer, if I was to buy this or put this on a contract to be able to flip, is 162. So let's go look at that. Okay. They are asking 240. I'm way too far off of them. So it's typically they're not motivated. Okay, that's the number one cue that they're not motivated. The numbers doesn't show that from a retail standpoint. Okay, so my offer is 162. Okay, actual sales price will have to be 162. Okay, if I do decide if they can't do that, I'm not gonna do the numbers. Okay, I'm not gonna do numbers now. If they're 165 and 170, I'll look at the number a little closer. But 240 is too far off. Okay, and the way this actual sales price is calculated is it picks the lowest. Okay, the minimum of 240, which is the asking, and my maximum allowable offer, and that's what that is. Okay, the total cost of acquisition, which is TCA, will have to be 172, which is I am assuming that this number will remain 10. If this number goes to $50,000, it changes this. It changes this. Okay, it changes that number right there. It changes my maximum allowable to 122. You see that? But I'm still gonna assume it's 10, right? If the property is a custom built house last year, typically it means I would need to make sure that everything is upgraded, everything is brand new. It doesn't mean no repair. It means I will probably want to put some taste in it, or I will want to make sure the property conform with the rest of the property in the neighborhood. But there's always some kind of money to spend on repair. Okay, that's why I put $10,000 default or more, depending on when I inspect the property. But this is just me pre-qualifying the lead. Okay, cost of funding for that 172, if I was to rehab this property, my cost of funding this property, I always assume 15%. Okay, so that would be $26,000. Okay, that would be $26,000. Okay, cost of closing and holding onto the property for at least 1 year. Okay, besides funding the property, it's probably about $12,000. I always assume about 7%. Okay, I always assume about 7%. Actually, it's seven. I always assume about 10 to 7%. So I'm actually going to take again when you're purchasing a property, bet you want to assume worst case scenario. Okay, worst case scenario. Okay, worst case scenario. So that's actually I always assume 10% for closing and holding percent. It could be less, it could be more, but this is just how I estimate these numbers to make it to make it make sense. Okay, so for this particular deal, for me to finance $172,000, 10% is about $17,000. Okay, now this one is total cost of the project. That will be 17 plus 26 plus 172. That's 215. That's already total cost of project for me, 215. So all money in, if assuming this property is worth 265, every dime must be under $215,000, and that would net me about $50,000. Remember, all closing costs, all this already estimated, right? And that would be a return on investment for the total cash investment, in spite of the fact that that money didn't come out of my pocket. It's 23%. Okay, so it's basically me flipping $215,000, none of my money because I financed it using this $26,000. None of my money. I changed that money, increased by 23% within the 40, 50, 60 days span for rehabbing the property. If I didn't rehab the property, I would have probably walked away with 10 of this $50,000, 10 or 20, and somebody would still be profitable. Does that make sense? That's if I was straight out traditional flipping the property or rehabbing the property. Does that make sense? So these numbers are already failing. Okay. Now there's some arguments here that Miss Hunt is arguing here, and we're gonna look into it. And again, these are strictly my opinion. If it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, if what she's saying makes a lot more sense, please, by all means. There's no one way. It's not a one-way street in this business, and it really depends on what you're comfortable with. For me, I'm comfortable with the numbers being comfortable. Okay, if the numbers are not comfortable, I'm not comfortable. Okay, so I want to sleep nice at night. I want to go to bed sleeping real nice at night. If I feel like the homeowner is going to turn around and say they are screwed up somehow, some way 2 years from now, I'm not going to be comfortable. I don't want to do business that way. I want to go to bed. I don't care if I haven't made any money today. I just want to go to bed sleeping with some peace in my mind. Okay, and I'm sure most of you feel that way. But what makes you feel that way may be different from mine. What makes me feel that way may be different from Miss Hunt. Okay, so but I'm just going to point out my difference in opinions as people continue to talk about this. So what I noticed is that anytime numbers doesn't work out, right, like this, that means they're not going to accept my offer. This is my offer right here. This will be my offer. These are the numbers that will make me make money. Okay, these are the numbers that I need in order to make money. As a matter of fact, let me make sure that's a little lighter. All right, this number right here, maximum allowable offer, will allow me and my investors and everybody to make money, and including the homeowner to be comfortable, because I will basically outrightly purchase the property out of their hands. They can't turn around that they didn't choose to sell me the house. They have to agree to this number. That means they have to be motivated. That means the property has to be a complete liability for them to be willing to sell at this price. If they are owing too much, so for example, if you go back. Okay, so that's today's part of the series. Make sure you download the book, smartrealestateWholesaling.com. SmartrealestateWholesaling.com. You can see the link on the screen. Make sure you download the book and take advantage of the information in the book. It's absolutely for free, and make sure you stay plugged in on this, because this is getting better and better as you get through. Make sure you don't miss any part of this series, and hopefully you've been enlightened and educated, and I'll see you on the next one, and peace.